Hello and welcome to my channel. Oh my god, slay. Honestly, I have been ignoring my soul's calling for the longest time, for as long as I can remember. Since I got here, I've kind of been the type of person who, and this isn't just a me thing, I know it's more of a conditioning rather than a this is who I am type of situation, but I have always had this have been drawn, if you will, to video diaries and stuff. So here I am, and it's about to be Black History Month, so I'm like, let me take up space on this internet. Let me take up space. For a very long time, I have always looked I would always just yap to myself and just talk into the void, and my dad would walk in my room and be like, oh, what are you doing, and who are you talking to? And there would be no one, it would just be me. So here I am talking to myself, except this time in front of a camera, so hopefully you get to join me. If no one's watching, slay. If somebody's watching, hello, welcome. But I just wanted to talk about something that has kind of been on my heart, but I kind of just hit record and we're gonna see what comes out. But last year, and I feel like a lot of people shared this sentiment, but last year being 2024, I had one of the roughest years that I have experienced in the longest time. Genuinely, when you're just going through it and it's thing after thing after thing is happening, and while you're in it, you're kind of just or at least this is how I felt, but while I was in it, it was just kind of okay, this, it can't get worse than this. Okay, it can't get worse than this. Okay, it can't get worse than this. And it does. It's the universe hears you and is oh, you want to see worse? Here's worse. And the wildest thing to me is not that I've experienced all those things, it's that I came out on the other side of said things, and I still feel I'm still 1 foot in that disastrous year and still kind of recounting some of the things and processing. And I feel like a lot of people share this sentiment, but one thing that I have learned about my ability to come through is, one, human resilience is I'm stubborn. I don't believe that I get to go through bullshit to just stop there. I need to be better at the end of it. I'm not even talking about being a better person, or genuinely just, I need to see myself not just survive but thrive. That's one thing out of this life. I did not come here to suffer. I did not come here for it to be the worst time of my life. So I'm on a mission. I genuinely am on a mission, and I'm going to fulfill whatever mission that is. But last year, I was just having such a rough time, and even now, thinking about it, it was such an emotional year, emotional roller coaster. And I won't sit here and cry on my first video, because I think that'd be, actually, I think nothing of it. If I cry, I cry. But last year was such a rough year for me, and even by the end of the year, I was just kind of damn. And I felt I lost so much, when in reality, I don't really think those losses were losses. They were losses in the sense that there was something in my life, and now that space is empty, and kind of still grieving some of those things, whether it be the different friendships that I lost. I moved out of my family's house for the first time. I lost a version of me that existed, that probably still kind of lives within me, but is no longer me. It's a person that it's an old identity and old beliefs and an old belief system that I used to have, but it did get replaced by a new one that feels more aligned with who I am. Before I moved out of my family's house, or my mom's house, I was unsure that I could take care of myself and that I could sustain myself, and what will I do when I'm alone a lot of the time. And honestly, you're never really lonely. In this world, you're genuinely never really lonely. You go outside and you see that there's a bunch of people existing as well, and having lives, and going through their own stuff as well. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. In the process of quote unquote losing all these things, it was a great opportunity for me to come back to myself over and over and over again. And while it did hurt, and some of these things still hurt, and I feel like I'm still grieving a lot of the losses, quote unquote losses, that I've had, it's been an opportunity for me to find myself again, and for me to relearn who I am, and relearn what it is that I want, and kind of readjust what's important to me. And I'm saying all this to say, if there's someone else that is experiencing loss, and that could be in the form of anything, whether that's you losing a friendship, having a parent pass away, a pet passing, so on and so forth. The list kind of goes on. Job loss, like there's so many things that you can grieve. Like genuinely, I think sometimes people just think that grief is just like someone died and now you're grieving the loss of someone that you cared about. And sometimes it's even someone dying and you didn't even care about them, but it was someone that like still like held some sort of importance in your life, and now you're grieving what could have been, grieving the relationship that you could have had, grieving some of the healing that you could have experienced with them in your life. And it's gone, just like in an instance, it's gone, right? And now you're like having to readjust and kind of figure out where to direct that love that you once had, or direct that like caring that you once had for said person or said thing. And genuinely, I feel like grief is an opportunity for us to return that love to ourselves. I think that everything that we experience on this plane is just like a reflection of who we are, and a reflection of the lens that we live life through. And when you love someone so deeply and they're just like are gone, it's like, okay, time to readjust, time to refocus. And part of that is refocusing that energy to you, and pouring into yourself, and having compassion for yourself, and loving yourself a little bit more deeply, and giving yourself grace, and allowing those like feelings to just like sitting with those feelings, and then allowing them to pass, and just knowing that like you're not going to feel like that forever. That grief that you feel, that deep pain that you feel, you're not going to feel that forever. Like you might feel it for a long time, but you don't feel that forever. And that's something that I've experienced myself, so I'm not talking out of my ass when I say this. Like genuinely, I don't know, it's all I can say is that you're not alone in feeling that. I think we all go through our own experiences with loss, whether that is, someone dying, or someone leaving your life, or you having to leave someone's life because of your own circumstances. Like, we all experience loss, and we all experience grief. Be patient with yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Continue to love yourself through it. And I'm right here with you, genuinely. So anyways, my name is Nyrock. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you did, if you didn't, honestly, your loss. Slay. Anyways, love and light. Mwah.